Hi, hello, and welcome to everyone to the Rainbow Coaching Collective podcast. We are a collective of LGBTQI plus transformative coaches who are set on empowering members of the community and its allies one conversation at a time. And today, as always, I'm joined by the lovely Max and the lovely Holly.
All right.
Hello.
And for today's theme, we are talking about our reflections of 2025. For us, it's been quite a journey for us personally, but also collectively as the Rainbow Coaching Collective. This is our 13th episode, and I had a look back. We did our very first episode, it went live on the 7th of January of this year.
Wow.
Wow, 7th of January.
Yeah,
Goodness. Gosh, so
That's
we've done
blown
one
by.
a month. Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah. So, as we come towards the end of this year, I know we're still in kind of November, coming towards the December, but how are you feeling, or what are your feelings looking back on 2025 so far?
What a journey. Is this what I want to say?
Yeah.
There's like
Yeah.
a lot of shedding of stuff um for me, but also just finding some incredible people along the way, like yourselves, making some real friends for life and yeah, and accomplishing things that I think were just a vision, an idea at the beginning of the year, which is which is so exciting. Those things have
Yeah.
come into fruition.
Mm.
How about you
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah. For me, one of the things I was thinking about was, and I've just written down the word truth. I think this year for me has been really about being quite careful in a way about how I'm choosing to live. And that has come with because I've sort of at the basically this time last year I moved into a new flat, which kind of brought all its ups and its downs with it. So I'm living in a brand new place. And I think something that's been really important to me on reflection, not even really, I didn't even really know I was doing it, but been really careful about how I spend my time and who I spend it with. And it has to align with my truth or it's just not really relevant to my life anymore, is what I've realized. And some of the lessons that I've really learned is the the consistency or what you can achieve by being consistent and keep showing up. So, for example, with our Rainbow Coaching Collective, we've all shown up for meetings when we have been through something that day or are going through something, or one of our family members is going through something. And we've still shown up. Obviously, we've been flexible when we've needed to be, but we might have shown up completely unprepared for a meeting, but it's just important to be there.
Mm.
And then I sort of really look back, and some of the most amazing things that have happened this year because we kept showing up and had a meeting at the beginning of the year. It's like, wouldn't it be cool if we could do all of these things? And actually, we can hand on heart say that we have done everything and more that we set out to do. We have a podcast. We
Mm.
have a monthly sharing circle, which has run monthly throughout this whole year. We've run our own retreat, which was just a vision at the beginning. That was seemed completely unbelievable. And all of these things have happened, and the reason they've happened is consistency. And I've really taken that into my own life, and my own other coaching as well that I do outside of this is like showing up is enough. And life doesn't necessarily have to be about, you know, the real highs where it's like you're doing something really amazing. It's also the times when you just keep showing up. And that's when big achievements can really be made when you look back at what you've actually done across the year.
Love
Yeah, listening to you both there, I have to say, when you said shredding and when you said choosing, both of you, that kind of
Mm.
really aligned because I think 2025 has definitely been about shedding and definitely been about choosing what I want to do, where I want to show up, and really showing up because that's what I've chosen.
that. Mm. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. There's a huge part there, isn't there, on that showing up, showing up piece. Um, and s- and as I think about it, it's sort of showing up, showing up as ourselves, showing up as we are. So showing up isn't just a physical showing up. It's the showing up with our current life situation, with our current life experience, with currently how we're feeling. And um, I think for me, that's been what's so beautiful in this journey this year is seeing showing up through that unconditional love lens. Like with you three, like I have showed up, and some days I've showed up really tired. Some days I've showed up really fed up. And like just before this call, there was something I shared with you both that made me feel a bit uncomfortable, and I showed up and shared that. And so part of the showing up is showing up as our full selves, and I think we've all brought that when we've shown up with each other. Um, and yeah, to pause and just reflect. I think there's not there's not like millions of people in my life that I can show up with in that way. And I think that for anyone listening, if you've got those people in your life, like cherish them and start to build more of those connections with people that you can show up with fully as well. Um, so yeah, I'm completely on board with the consistency thing. I think that's a huge part of it. I was just thinking myself as well, like just being able to show up as I am was such a big part for me this year as well.
Yeah.
And that unconditional love piece
Yeah. When I
was
was
massive.
reflecting before, Max, I was thinking about when we attended Pride together. And I was just reflecting on what a beautiful experience that was, just for ourselves, to all be at Pride together. And I've attended, loads of different Prides, but never
Mm,
being able to be there to make a difference, which was such an honor and a privilege and such an amazing milestone. But I
yeah,
was also reflecting, I think you've shared this before, Max, that was your first Pride. So that's a huge thing for you this year to show up as
yeah,
yourself. Right, that's incredible. That's such
it
an
was
amazing
massive.
experience.
And the feeling of pride, like on that level, is
Yeah,
nothing that I've ever experienced before. And what followed shortly after that is that feeling of I am enoughness that we all
yeah,
relished in. That was a great moment that we all shared. And I think that's a daily practice, but I've felt I've felt what that feels like now. And I know it's within my fiber and my being now. So I can tap into it and it's within all of our beings. Um, but we need to put ourselves in those situations where it can come out, right? And I think being at a pride is one of them. So if people haven't been to a pride before, there can be shame around not having been to a pride as well. So I think it's just being kind to yourself if you haven't. But yeah, trying to get yourself to one. And the busy ones in London and Brighton aren't necessarily for everybody. This was a small one that we did in my hometown. So just even starting with a small one, but just having a day where you are unconditionally accepted and loved. You can't put money on that. There's no better feeling, I think, than that. Um, as a queer person, a member of the
yeah.
LGBT community. So yeah, that was huge. Thanks for reflecting that back to me. Um, yeah, that was amazing. And seeing you both in your with your superpowers, like on this journey as well. In on the retreat, holding space for people in the way that you both do with your gifts and at the sharing circles. And yeah, it's been amazing to see the superpowers within you both as well. And and yeah, just understanding my own gifts as well along the way and having those reflected back. I think it's important that you have those people around you that you can do that with, right? Because we can easily cast those things aside. So we'll have people in our lives who only reflect the shadow parts. So yeah, it's nice to have people that hold you up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we kind of touched on that in our last podcast, talking about, those small wins. It doesn't always have to be big.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I want to ask you, Rach, what was a highlight for you this year?
Highlight surviving it, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you've had
I
a
I
lot.
think 2025 has definitely been a wake up call on so many levels. Um, Not just obviously physically nearly dying, but in that wake up call of going, what really matters.
Mm,
And I think what I've learned about myself in 2025 is quite a few things, but I think the real big one is, can I really be myself and still be safe, loved, and accepted? And I think there has been so many moments throughout this year where that has been mirrored. Yes.
Mm.
And that's something, the pride, the retreat, our kind of spiritual drunkenness, um, because it felt I am enough. Not
mm,
just the thought, it was felt throughout. So I feel, yeah, 2025 definitely held up a mirror of how I how my fears of expectations can be totally thrown up in the air. And what I mean by that, if I go back to February, one of my biggest fear was, would I lose my parents? Would they die? And actually, it was me that nearly died in February. So
mm,
it's almost like that's been thrown up in the air and going, it's not a given.
mm,
So things that I felt were a given have suddenly just been thrown up. So it's kind of made me, and it's go back to that what you said earlier about shed. I can't get my words out. Shredding and
Mm.
kind of letting go of things and letting go of those expectations of what I've been expecting or what could happen in that sense, and going, actually, my beliefs aren't true.
mm.
Mm. Can I ask you, Rachel, now you know that,
Yeah.
what does the future look like for you?
It's given me much more the kind of courage of live now and actually really question those beliefs, because tomorrow can look so different.
Mm.
Mm. Beautiful.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, we can get lost in the paradigm, can't we? The story,
Mm.
and then fill in the detail. I think that's such a big lesson is what are we filling that gap with? What story are we telling ourselves?
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes because we're lost straight away in the story. There's not a choice. It doesn't feel like there's a choice to change the story. But like in your journey there, you've seen that the story wasn't real. In fact, it was different and it applied to you. Um, but when we can, choose a different narrative, um, it can really change the way that we see the world. Um, but that's a real daily practice.
Yeah.
Brain's just got all that data coming in constantly, hasn't it? Thousands and thousands and thousands of bits of data. So it's got to simplify and cut through it to in some way, shape, or form. It does that by creating these stories, but we can challenge the truth of those stories. Um,
Mm.
yeah,
So I'd quite like to ask, what truth about yourself did 2025 reveal that you weren't expecting?
great question.
Truth. Shall I go?
Yeah, you go for it, Holly.
Yeah. So I don't think for me that there's been sort of a big revelation, to be honest. I think for me, it has really been about that consistency that I about before. And one of the things that I've realized is it's not that I can't do it. If I haven't, there's a certain few things that I want to get done before the end of the year, but I've wanted to do them since January, but they're still on my list of things to do. It's not that I can't do them. And I used to feel really guilty about getting certain things done, or, for example, like getting my social media set up, for my own coaching, things like that. And it's like, it's not that I can't do it. It's not that it's because I haven't made space or time or energy, because I'm not allowing that space for it to happen. Because if I give myself, and I've done this a few times throughout the year, if I've just taken a day off, I've got so much done on that. So I know that it's not that I can't do it. So it's that I need to find the space and time to do it. And I've also learned that that comes from me. So I already feel at the moment that I'm busy. I've got a lot going on, and I have to make sure that I don't burn out. However, I have to really look at my week and go, there is no more hours in this week. So where is it going to go? And it's only happened really recently in the last couple of weeks where I've had to really shift my attitude and go, no one's going to give you this time to get this stuff done. So you've got to make the time. It's got to come from you, and it's got to come from somewhere. And that actually was, once I'd made that decision, it changed everything. And now I've only been doing this for a couple of weeks, and then I ended up going to Paris last week on a complete whim. So that all of that went out the window. So I need to get back on it sort of this week and next. However, this is something that perhaps might be useful to share. Was like, I thought I couldn't get up any earlier in the morning. I have to be at work in sort of the day job at the moment at 8:30. I already get up at 6. I didn't think there was any more energy or time in the day for me to get up and do any more work. However, I was like, right, well, something's got to shift. So I now get up at 5:30, and I will do some work before I leave. And I thought I was going to be more tired, more burnt out, more like, what are you doing? In fact, what I found happened is that because I put what I want to do first, so I put my coaching first before I left the house in the morning, even though I was getting up and out of bed at 5:30, I had so much more energy and I felt so much more positive. So I don't know, I'm just sharing that because I feel like that could be useful for some of the listeners, and that it's a change of attitude. I was really worried. I was like, I'm going to be absolutely exhausted this week. I wasn't like, I wasn't not going to say that I wasn't a bit tired, and I'm not going to say it wasn't really hard to get out of bed at 5:30, but the motivation I felt to be able to do some work on some of the stuff and break the back of some of the things that have been hanging over me for a while felt so good. And that is something that I'm going to carry forward and hit the ground running in the last month of the year. And I'm so glad that that shifted, because I was feeling so like inconsistent, even though I talked about consistency, inconsistent with some of the things that I wanted to do for myself. And I was like, the only person that can change this is me. So, get up earlier and do it, and say to the universe, this is what I care about. This comes first. So, yeah, sorry, that's rather long-winded, but yeah, that's what has just been a real revelation for me in the last couple of weeks that has been actually quite life-changing.
That's quite powerful stuff. I love the way you started off going, well, it's nothing too big, but actually that feels really quite huge.
Yeah, really huge.
Mm,
I love the message as well. The only person that can do it is me.
yeah.
It's such an important message, and I had that reflected back to me as well, with like my diary being chaotic for a period, and I'd just taken on more than I could chew, and I couldn't find the balance, and was overcapacitating myself. And I remember my husband just said to me, the only person that can help you is you. Like the
Wow.
only person that can do anything about any of this is you. And it hit quite hard, um,
Yeah.
because I had to accept responsibility on a real core level. And it's
Mm.
easy as well, isn't it, to be a bit of a victim and all this stuff's happening to me. Just busy at the moment. I'm just this, I'm just that. But actually, no, I had autonomy to create change. And so, yeah, I think I came to that similar realization, Holly. And it's a daily practice, like you were saying, right? You went to
Mm.
Paris, came back, and you've got to reintegrate. I've had that a lot as well. But when we pause and think, the only person that can really create change in our lives is ourselves. That's also really empowering because it
Yeah.
means we can push back, we can hold the boundary, we can put the work first in the morning, like you're doing. We can change up our diaries in a way that makes sense for us. And this is all a work in progress. I'm still learning loads about that myself, but I think that's a great starting point, isn't it? Any person that can do this is me. Yeah. So I got a lot from that. Me just showing that,
Yeah.
reflecting on my own experience as well. Um, my truth is, I think I've spoken to it a little bit already, so I won't take ages sort of explain it, but it's just I'm enough,
Mm.
and links back to the pride stuff that we talked about a little bit earlier on. But knowing that on a really fundamental level, and some days I do forget it, so it's a reminder. But when I write it down, or I'm going into a meeting, or I'm going into a one-to-one with someone, or going into something that's quite scary or difficult, and I just remind myself, whatever happens, and however you perform, and however you show up, on a fundamental core level, you're enough. So that the outcome of the thing can't change that basic tenet.
Mm.
And that's so powerful because we can always do more, we can always be more, we can always be better. But the state of being enough isn't something that changes. It we are enough. We just are. And we all realize that at different points through our lives. But the more spaces you can put yourself in to get to that point, I think the better, because once you reach that point, it's something you can always come back to no matter how hard or difficult the thing is that you're going to go into. Um, it's been really quite life changing, I think, to have that realization this year.
Mm.
Um, yeah, on that deep level. I thought I was there, but I wasn't. It's only become apparent this year that how much I wasn't feeling enough. So yeah, another powerful, for me, powerful takeaway for the year.
Mm. So it feels like on all some level we've all kind of picked at a core belief and worked our way through it to enhance ourselves or get where we want to be and have more clarity of
Mm.
that.
Mm.
I'm kind of wondering on the journey of over this year, how has connection shown up this for you this year with yourselves, with others?
I think for me, connection is been everywhere and in everything that I've chosen to do. So all of the things that I've sort of decided to put energy into, so coaching for one, and obviously the connection with you guys and the work that we're doing. Also, I coach with in the arts, and that is something that I've really got value from because obviously my background is in the arts. And then outside of kind of the work sphere, I joined an improv group because I was looking for connection and some fun and to perform again. I was really realized that actually I was missing performing, and I decided to kind of honor that and just see what was around. And so I've done three shows this year. I have one on Friday night. And so and I'm meeting fantastic people that have the same interest as me in that sphere. So that has been really, really wonderful. And then just to share, with the listeners, I moved from London to Cornwall 3.5 years ago. So what that means is that when most of my friends, obviously I've got friends here in Cornwall now, but like most of my best friends who I've known for years do not live here. So what has been really, really lovely, I mean, I haven't seen them nearly as much as I would like to, but the things that I've done with those friends have been really meaningful because I've had to travel a whole day to get there and do that with them and spend that quality time. And it has kind of, yeah, it's just narrowed. It's kind of narrowed my sphere as friends, but also it's quality, not quantity. And so for me, those quality experiences that I've had with those friends has been everything. And I've had some amazing experiences this year. Like one of the ones I've just been on, which was Paris, which was seeing Lady Gaga in Paris at sort of 24 hours notice. So that was with one of my best friends who I'd known since I was 16. There's a wonderful opportunity to spend some time with her. So it's interesting that you actually said the word connection, because I feel like this whole year has been really about the right type of connection and quality connection for me. So yeah, that's been really important.
How about you, Max?
Love that, Holly. I love you doing the art stuff and connecting back to that part of yourself as well. It's amazing to hear. Connection, yeah. I mean, so I run the walks, the rainbow walks here, and we started off, I think, with like 3 or 4 people at the beginning of the year, and now in Christmas we're going on a walk on lunch. We've got like 22 people coming, and so that is a community that's just grown over the months, and I have connected with so many amazing people on those walks and heard so many different stories of how people are essentially coming back to themselves, how they're becoming. Whether that's people who are gay and only realize that later in life, or people who maybe on the journey in relation to transitioning or whatever it might be. Just hearing different stories from the LGBT plus community on those walks, the pain, but also the hope, the joy, of self-expression and authenticity, the challenges, just seeing how similar we all are in our experiences. And we always have like a nice little catch-up chat after, and it's a chance for us all sort of to connect. And I just really feel like what we've all created together there has been really beautiful. It's like a little hub of, I mean, it is a community of like-minded people, and I think that that's hard to find in the queer space a lot of the time. I think there's a lot of focus on partying and drugs and sex and all that stuff, and there's a place for all of that stuff, and I'm not shaming people that are in those spaces and things, but I think it's like both, and there needs to be spaces for people who also just want to go on nice walks or want to go and do drama like you're doing, Holly, or other things, and they connect to other interests, but they want to meet other like-minded people. I don't think there's enough of that stuff. So just through connecting with people this year, I've realized that there is that need, and it's beautiful when you can bring people together. The sense of pride, going back to pride, that brings, well, just being in that community of people, like-minded people, as well, has been really special. That's what came to mind for me. Yeah. How about you, Rach?
Can I just thank you? Can I just thank you, Max, as well, for the community that you've built with the walks, because it's just been incredible to see that grow, and to see you as the pillar of that. As it's testament to you and the space that you've created. Those people show up because of the space you've created, and it's been so beautiful to see that grow from from all the way down here in Cornwall.
Thank you, Holly. That means a lot. Means a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd echo that as well.
Yeah. It's and it was lovely when, so for the listeners, Holly and Rach came to where I live in Guildford, and we had our retreat there, and people on the walks were talking about them afterwards, about, you know, their experiences of meeting you both. And I think it's just the energy, isn't it? I think when we're allowed to be ourselves, and we connect on that truest level, we're not masking, then that's magnetizing for everybody,
Mm.
you know. Um, I'm not just talking about us, I'm talking about like people that on the walking group, like people that have just been the complete selves. I mean, that's amazing to bear witness to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really special.
Yeah.
yeah. No. And answer to your question, I would say connection for me this year has been such a big one. I feel like I've built deeper friendships by allowing myself to be vulnerable.
Mm.
Um, and I felt like I've been seen in ways that I hadn't before, and that's been scary but also comforting. Um, the connection we've had with our community, you know, like having our sharing circles, but then actually meeting in person. Um,
Mm.
so, and then I've done other workshops this year, which beforehand I probably wouldn't have had or taken the time or the courage to do it. But actually, it's like actually this is who I am. So yeah, I do think 2025 has been about deeper connections, more aligned, and it's kind of almost echoed off of things that we've done as the Rainbow Coaching Collective.
Mm.
So I know we're kind of coming to the end, so I was gonna say if you could sum up one kind of sentence, one or two sentences, what's one thing you'd like to carry from 2025 into 2026, and what's one thing you're choosing to gently let go of?
You got something, Holly? Do you want me to go?
You want to go first, Max? I've got a couple of things. I'm just formulating them.
Mine feels like the first thing I wrote down was what I'm carrying into 2026 is pride.
Love
Pride
that.
for myself and celebrating myself. I don't mean that in an arrogant, egotistical way, but in the sense of um, celebrating myself. Like I'm a gay man, and that's worth celebrating. And you know, celebrating the work that I do to help other people as well. You know, um, but most importantly, fundamentally, the pride myself that I am enough, and carrying that through, and I think letting go of the shame. So those times where I second guess myself. Is it okay to go out like this? Is it okay to be seen like this? Is it okay to think like this? Is it okay to share this? Is it okay to um uh you know, I don't know, turn up and um do this particular thing? Just letting all of that go and instead going forwards with this pride. What feels like, yeah, what I want to step into 2026 with.
Thank you, Max. How about you, Holly?
Yeah, thank you, Max. And I'm really excited for you that you're doing that. So the first thing that I wrote down was just the words, "You got this," to remember that I have got this. And yeah, and it might mean digging a little deeper. It might mean getting up a bit earlier, but it's that what I shared before of the only person that is going to make this happen is me. And the more that I do that and the more that I say yes, it feels like the more opportunities seem to kind of come my way. So I'm excited to see where that takes me in 2026. So yeah, you got this. And the thing I'm letting go of is doubt. Um, yeah, doubt that it may, or whatever it is, may or may not happen. Doubt that I can't handle this. Doubt that I might not be able to, fit everything in, might not be able to write, whatever I need to do. Like, just get on with it. I think I've reached a point where I'm like, stop worrying, stop doubting, get on with it. You'll find a way. And I think it's like all of those worries have been holding me back. Like, what if I'm too tired? What if this? What if that? I'll deal with it on the day. And if I am too tired, I'll go to sleep. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's about, I think for me, it's about, yeah, shedding the doubt, leaving that behind, and saying yes, taking that into 2026.
Lovely.
How about you, Rach?
What I'd like to take is my friendships that ground me and my commitment to rest and balance.
Mm.
And what I would really like to let go of is the story that I'm too much or I'm not enough.
Mm.
So it's kind of interesting that we've all kind of gone for something quite powerful to carry us forwards and kind of leaving that doubt, the old stories, beliefs.
Yeah.
Yeah, love that.
So I know we're coming to the end, and I'm so looking forward to going into 2026 with you.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say before we bring it to a close?
I don't think so. I think I'm good. I just want to say we've all got this.
We've all got this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think just for the listeners, I think that's been really useful for me just to pause and just reflect. And I think it can be really useful just to pause and just reflect. And we can't not grow and we can't not change over a year. So like just acknowledging, where you have changed for the good and where you have grown for the good and what you have learned and what tools you have got in the toolbox, that can be really helpful. And like your great question, Rach, what is it that you want to try and let go of? So we're going into the new year with some intentionality. Can be really helpful.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys, as ever, for a lovely podcast and for sharing your stories. And just to say, to our listeners, that if this resonates with you or anything we've shared today and you have any ideas or things you'd like us to talk about in the future, please visit our website www.rainbowcoachingcollective.com or get in touch with us via email on info@rainbowcoachingcollective.com. We'd love to hear from you. And I think our next one is we're going to try and get one in before Christmas. So I think it's going to be a Christmas theme. So until then, take care.